Some cancers, they say, live in the body quite innocuously all one's life, accommodating themselves to what the host provides. Others metastasize and overwhelm their host and thus destroy themselves. Thinking of the coming of the 17 trawlers to Vanuatu, it's tempting to see humanity as the metastasizing cancer of the planet. There are a few benign pockets, of course, but these too look like being overwhelmed by the unstoppable, inexorable logic of endless growth, endless consumption. So the question we humans have is a fundamental ethical one between what are called first-order preferences and second-order preferences. Now, to understand this, diet makes a useful analogy here. First-order preferences are just what one wants. These are preferences we share with lower forms of life. A sheep wants to eat, it eats. Chocolate bars at the petrol station checkout? Oh, what the hell. An animal wants to eat, it eats. 2 for $3, sir? Ooh, okay. Now I'm fat and broke and tired. Why me, oh Lord? Conventional economics, conventional consumption-based economics would have humans, in essence, no different from animals, exercising preferences which are a feature only of a pleasant but not a good life. Do we prefer our food preferences over other preferences for healthful living, financial solvency, or maybe the preference even to stay slim? Second-order preferences are what potentially set us apart from animals, because we are capable of reflecting on which of our preferences are in our best interests. For the philosopher Immanuel Kant, for whom rationality distinguishes human beings from other creatures, the possibility of second-order preferences makes us humans, because it is those preferences, not our immediate urges, that prove that you and I have free will. So you see, the myth of the promotion of endless choice has nothing to do with freedom. A cat might be able to choose among 7 kinds of cat food, but that doesn't make it free. It just means it has a choice. I am free if and only if I have the self-control, the will, and the intellectual capacity to choose my preferences. To violate that principle of second-order preferences is simply to confuse one's identity as a human being. Second-order preferences are the defining characteristic not of a pleasant life, but what Aristotle would have called the good life. And the good life is preferable to the pleasant life. The myth of the market works powerfully upon our unpreferred preferences and makes us want to consume without thinking. There are whole marketing and advertising industries full of very smart people who devote every moment of their working day to encourage your first-order preferences. That is, to buy immediately, to buy impulsively, and to buy often. This can only mean that it is only by turning our backs upon the very idea of the economic system we have set up for ourselves that we can give true expression to our true preferences and thus our true humanity. Turning our backs upon conventional market economics? I've got an MBA from Harvard, you must be crazy. It's so fundamentally embedded in our ideology of what is normal and right. And so joyful are we that our house prices haven't tanked. So joyful are we that this idea has been picked up, dusted off, slapped on the wrist and saved when that was the problem all along. You might as well ask fish to turn their backs on water. Rob, too much is never enough. But the 17 trawlers are coming to a tropical paradise near you. And their coming foretells the only logical end of the myth of endless consumption, as does the truth of the tiny banana. Seek for less and get more enjoyment. I feel sometimes, like Larkin in the opening poem, that there really is a possibility that it won't last, that it's going, and not just one nation, not just England, but every nation. Because here's something I forgot to tell you. Vanuatu of the magic quantum bananas, and Vanuatu of the 17 trawlers and the happy Nevans who are among the happiest people on Earth, is actually sinking. Or rather, the sea levels are rising. Guess why? Because of the man-made system that makes the 17 trawlers necessary. Because of the system that marginalizes the really good bananas. Because of the economic system that makes the freakish nuclear corn seem desirable. Because of the system that makes us into unthinking, consumptive animals, a slave to excess consumption forever and forever without end. One day, if unchecked, the sea will cover all, and the villages, the jungle, the banana plants, and the ramshackle homemade homes, and the Nevans themselves, the sea will fold into itself like fields. Hey, that can only mean more ocean, more room for the trawlers to ply their trade, working the sea lanes like the other oldest profession, having power without responsibility, and with less of what actually makes us human. Humans, for whom small should be beautiful, and for whom less is in fact more. But I'd rather light a candle than curse this darkness. I suppose that there is nothing that we as individuals or even we as a nation can do to reframe global capitalism to an environmentally sustainable basis. I suppose that's true. Perhaps the only way to stop the ravening maw from eating is to let it kill the host, bringing on some kind of apocalyptic crisis of fire and water and blood. And the few survivors will be left to figure out what went wrong and never do it again. So there's some hope on a global scale, but the candle I really want to light for you today is this, because this is what we can do. We can make the moral choice for ourselves to live with some, not with more and more, and not with too much. To live simply, first, that others may live. Many wise men have pointed the way to make this choice, to do with less. Do I need to name them? Buddha, Jesus, Gandhi? For a religion that professes to draw from the best of the world's religions, we might begin to take the injunction of material humility a little bit more seriously. Spiritual rewards, we've always been told, grow wildly from the fertile soil of living simply. But us, we're a lucky country. Most of us here, have so much, and we've grown used to it. Like a divorced person who just gets used to the social capital of having an enormous house that no one but themselves live in anymore, and heating and cooling and cleaning and maintaining it out of habit, wasting material resources, wasting their own energy, and worst of all, wasting the time in keeping it up. I speak this in knowing, my friends, you don't own things. They own you. Less of actually working to pay for them, less of looking after them, means more actual life for you to live and do things like have time to contemplate the spirit of the universe, which used to be thought to be enough. The least we can do, and never let it be said that we didn't do the least we could do, is to act out of simple self-interest. I light the candle of self-interest finally in this darkness by exercising our true humanity to reflect on and mindfully choose what we choose will, nay, does, increase and enrich our appreciation of what we have, be it gardening, be it music, be it wine, be it bananas. Recall the humble Vanuatuan banana, about the size of a tradesman's thumb, with its perfect amount of quantum value. If it could speak, it would say this to us: there seems to be less of me. I taste better. No, I am better. There's more to enjoy in me than an entire bushel basket of my steroidal half-cousins. This banana would say, that quality lives in inverse proportion to quantity, that less is in fact more, and small, oh poor, confused humans is indeed beautiful. Amen.